I didn't plan to end my marriage with a single word. It slipped out the way truth sometimes does, small and sharp, cutting deeper than a scream. We were sitting at the kitchen table, the light too bright for the late hour, the kind that makes everything feel exposed. He asked if I meant what I said the night before. I looked at him, tired of explaining myself, tired of softening things so he wouldn't feel hurt, and I said, exactly. Not loudly. Not cruelly. Just exactly. He didn't argue. That should have scared me. He nodded once, like someone confirming a number on a receipt, then stood and rinsed his mug. I watched his hands, steady, unhurried, the way they always were. For years I had complained about that steadiness. I wanted passion, reaction, proof that I mattered. I mistook calm for indifference and silence for absence. When he walked past me, he brushed my shoulder without pressure, a habit so familiar I barely noticed it. Then he went upstairs. I told myself he needed time. I told myself men always retreat when confronted with honesty. I even felt a flicker of relief, like finally naming something broken would fix it. I slept alone that night, convinced we would talk in the morning, convinced that exactly was just a word, not a door. Morning came without him. His side of the bed was made. The closet looked thinner, as if it had exhaled. On the counter was a note, folded carefully, my name written the way he always did, neat and controlled. He wrote that he heard me. That he believed me. That he wasn't angry. He said he was choosing to respect what I asked for, even if I hadn't realized what it meant. There was no accusation, no plea, no promise to change. Just a quiet goodbye and an address for the lawyer handling the paperwork. I laughed at first. It felt absurd, dramatic, like a test he expected me to fail so he could prove a point. I called his phone. Straight to voicemail. I texted something casual, then something sharper, then something that sounded like a joke. Hours passed. By evening, the laughter had thinned into panic. I called his sister. She said he was safe and that she couldn't say more. Her voice was kind, which somehow hurt worse. The days that followed rearranged my life without asking permission. Bills changed. Routines collapsed. Friends tried to comfort me with talk of space and growth and brave decisions. I repeated my line that I had been honest, that honesty mattered. But honesty, I learned, doesn't guarantee the outcome you expect. It only guarantees consequences. I replayed the moment endlessly. The kitchen light. His question. My answer. Exactly. I had meant it the way people mean things in frustration, as emphasis, as punctuation. I hadn't meant forever. I hadn't meant now. I hadn't meant disappear. I meant I was tired. I meant I wanted to feel wanted. I meant I needed effort. I assumed he would translate, negotiate, chase. I assumed wrong. Weeks later, when I finally saw him across a parking lot, he looked lighter. Not happier, exactly, but unburdened. He nodded the way he always had, polite, distant, as if we shared a memory rather than a life. I tried to speak, but the words felt borrowed, late. I realized then that need arrives after respect leaves, and by the time I needed him, he had already believed me. I tell people this isn't a warning story. It's just what happened. One word met a lifetime of restraint, and restraint won. If I could return to that kitchen, I don't know what I'd say. I only know that exactly was honest, and honesty, when it lands on someone who listens, can end things more cleanly than hate ever could. I thought needing him would bring him back like gravity. It didn't. Need is loud, and he had learned to live quietly. I left messages I never sent and apologies I edited into something dignified. Each day I practiced restraint, too late, trying to mirror what I once dismissed. I learned that respect isn't negotiated in emergencies. It's built or it's gone. When I finally stopped reaching, the house felt smaller but clearer. I began to understand that I wasn't abandoned. I was answered. Exactly. I carry that lesson now, careful and measured. I choose words like tools, not weapons. Some nights I still imagine the kitchen light, but I don't argue with memory anymore. Memory listens better than people do. It hears exactly what was said and it keeps it. Forever isn't loud either, but it arrives, patient, after choices settle, and it stays. Long after apologies expire and explanations lose their shine.